Okay, I'm going to make an attempt to make an instructional video about how to start crochet. First thing that I'll tell you about is the hook. There's a bunch of different sizes for hooks, but basically to start out I'm just using an average size hook, this is a G size American, which is 4.25 millimeters. You can see that. And not to go too much into hooks right now, but this, like I said, is an average size. And basically what you need to know is the smaller the hook, the tighter your knit is going to be, or your crochets. If you have a bigger hook, it's going to make it a looser, with more, the holes are going to be bigger in your piece. So just for right now, I'm going to not go too much into hooks, but tell you that I'm just using an average size hook with an average yarn. This isn't anything special. I chose this color because I thought it would be easy to show up. And lastly, I am left-handed, so unfortunately I cannot do much right-handed wise with crochet, but I'll try to show you how to make at least the beginning slip knot with my right hand, and then everything else, basically you're just going to mirror image what you see. So start with to get your string on your hook, you'll want to make a slip knot. The easiest way that I've found to do it is to just wrap it around your finger twice, and then take the first line, put it over the other one, and then take the second one, put it over that, and then pull it. You've got your slip knot here. You put your hook on, and then just pull it to tighten it. You'll have this little tail here that you'll weave in at the end, and this is your working piece. So your working piece is going to go to your ball. Now in your left hand, which is my right hand, you will want to hold your working piece, and you want to adjust your tension. So most people wrap it around their pinky and drape it over their forefinger and hold the knot. Some people hold it, you have to find out which way works for you, but as you work, you're going to be pulling this. So the tighter you put it, so if you wrap it around your finger, it's going to tighten the tension, so it's not as easy to pull. Another thing is I usually put my ball of yarn inside a bowl or a coffee can, so that as I'm working, when it rolls, it doesn't roll off the couch or away from me. So now that we have this on, I'm just going to show you how to make a chain, which is really easy to do. So get your working piece of yarn wrapped however you feel comfortable. I usually hold the knot with my middle finger and my thumb. You don't have to, but I just find that it's easier for me that way. And then what you're going to do is take your hook, put it behind your string or your yarn, and grab it with the hook, pull it through that first loop. So now you've got one chain done. So when you start a pattern, it's going to say chain and then the number, like chain 18 or chain 240 or whatever you're working on. So that's one chain, and that's where you start. So let's do 20 on a chain just to start. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So you can see what I'm doing is just grabbing it with the hook, pulling it through the loop. There's 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Now that we have our starter chain, and that's how you start. Every pattern is with a chain. Well, most patterns, straight patterns, with a chain. And from there, you will use this for whatever stitch you're going to follow. So this is your first chain. One stitch that I will show you to start with, it's easy, that you'll use a lot, is called single crochet. So you have single crochet, double crochet, triple crochet, etc. Single crochet is one that you'll use very often. So to start our second row, if we're going to make like a square, you will count over the height of the stitch. So single chain, you're going to count over one stitch. So you'd never count the loop that's on your chain. You always count the second one. And to me, they look a bit like, kind of like a staple. Here's what you'll do. You go one, and then you'll insert into the one after that. So we'll insert here through this hole. This is called yarn over. When you take the yarn and grab it with your hook, that's called yarn over. So yarn over once, bring it one time through that hole, and then you'll grab your yarn again and take it through both of the holes. Now you've just made a single crochet, and this hole is a little bit bigger than it should be, but I'll show you on the next one. So you go directly to the very next stitch, and you will push through the middle. So if you can see, what I'm doing is going into this chain here, yarning over, pull through once, pull through twice. So there's my next single crochet. Alright, go to the very next stitch, push through, yarn over, pull through once. Now I have 2 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through both of those loops. Now I have 3 single crochets, etc. You just go on from there, and at the end, when you go on to your next row, you will count up 1 and then turn your work, and that's how from there you'll go up to your next row. You'll do your next row after you turn your work. So I will stop here after I show you a few more. One question you might have is, when I'm looking at the stitch, do I just put, this was a question I always had, do I just put my hook through the first string, through the one string, or should I put it through both? Because it looks kind of like a pretzel. And it depends on what you're making. You're going to have a little more stability if you put it through both of the strings. So push through like that, pull it through, and then pull through both. You have not as big of a loop at the bottom, so it looks a little better, I think, if you can push through both. And then on the second row, it will be much easier, and you definitely want to go through both. Like that. And as I said, I wish I could show you how to do this with my right hand, but unfortunately I have a really hard time crocheting right-handed. Once and twice. So, and then after a while it might start to curl up a little bit, but don't worry about that, because once you do additional rows it will straighten out. Okay, so we'll start with that and practice and get additional stitches from there.